Hey everyone, it's Anthony, back with another video here on Single and Placing. Hi, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a fantastic day, weekday, weekend, week, month, evening, morning, overnight, all of that good stuff. We're here with a little walk and vlog, this way, a little walk and vlog. It has been a long time. I think it's been like 3 weeks, a month since my last video. I don't know, it feels like it's been that long. But yeah, I'm out here with Apollo. We just left the car at the electric charging station near me, which we'll get to, why I need that now. One of the trails that we go on just so happens to be just kind of, it's not a close walk, but it's close enough. I think we should be able to get over there and back while the car is charging. I think it only needed like 40 minutes to get to 80%. So we're just gonna go on a little walkabout, see how far we can get while the car is charging. And then we're gonna come back and then see where the rest of the day takes us. But I wanted to jump on and let me set a timer, because I don't want to leave the car there too long, because they said if you leave your car there, come on, if you leave the car there longer than it should be, you get in trouble. So I don't want to get in trouble. But anyway, let's see. I want to find out where there's other electric chargers in my area. This just seemed to be the closest one. And it's also super windy, so hopefully the mic is doing its job. Fingers crossed. Make sure we're recording. Yes. Okay. So yeah, hi. I hope everyone is having a good week, months, however long it's been. It feels like it's been forever, but I do have quite a bit to catch you all up on. So, Apollo, let's go. We're never gonna make it there if you keep sniffing. Come on, good boy. So Apollo's still doing good. He's in his little backpack. He's doing good. He's being a good boy. But yeah, so I want to say, about 3 weeks ago, maybe it's been slightly longer than that, my car broke down. And so I have been without a vehicle pretty much since then, and didn't know whether or not warranty was going to cover it. Come on, let's go. Let's get past this person. But yeah, my fate was kind of in limbo there for a while. The fate of my vehicle was in limbo there for a while. Very, very stressful. I had to have it towed back to the house and then towed over to the dealership, and it seemed like there was some sort of electrical problem, which there was, a pretty major one. The entire hybrid battery needs to be replaced, as well as essentially the hybrid system. The entire thing just went kaput, and so it was going to be, the repair pricing was a little over $6,000 with labor, and obviously that's not something that I had just lying around. So I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought that was kind of either I was just going to have to not have a vehicle until I could save up the money to get it repaired. And so for the past couple of weeks, I've been getting a Lyft or taking public transportation to work. Luckily, I only work 2 days in office, so it wasn't that bad, but just kind of a lifestyle change. And not being able to take Apollo to the dog park or, to our normal hikes. We just had to go wherever was around the neighborhood. So he's been really antsy and has had a lot of extra energy just because he hasn't been able to kind of run free like he normally gets to, or go on a decent hike. And so we've been pretty much stranded at home for the past few weeks. But Hyundai, the service shop, my car is under an extended warranty. They just didn't know if the hybrid drivetrain was covered or if it was just the gas drivetrain. Like, is it the gas engine that's covered under the warranty or the hybrid system or both? They didn't know with the extended warranty. So there was a chance that I was just going to have the car towed back to the house until I could afford to fix it. Meanwhile, still paying for the vehicle monthly, which just would have been really a bummer. Come on. That would have really sucked, and it would have put a huge financial strain on me as well, and not being able to take Apollo to exercise was kind of the biggest thing I was sad about, So I was just kind of in a pretty, just not necessarily depression, I guess, yes, but just a high state of stress and anxiety and like that uncertainty of like, what's life gonna look like for me? I don't realize how much I rely on my car until I don't have it, And so I just was in no mood. I had zero interest in recording any sort of videos or content. Like that has not been my focus at all. I haven't been, like I said, in the mood to do it, but my sole focus was just like, figure out what's going to happen with your car. Figure out how you're going to get that money together as quickly as possible, so you're not without a car for so long. And taking Lyft rides, depending on the time of day, it was running anywhere from $15 to $40 each way. So it was usually about, say, $100 a week to get to work twice a week was what it was looking like it was going to be, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a huge expense. Hey, what are you doing? But it still seemed like exorbitant on top of paying for a car that isn't functioning for however many months, or maybe take me a year to put that together, who knows. So I was just not in a good place, and I was not feeling like recording anything. I didn't want to come on and be like, stress, I'm freaking out, I'm wigging out. I don't want to put that on anybody else. And it's hard for me to like pretend that stuff's not going on. So I just decided, you know what, until you have a game plan, or at least your fate, just focus on yourself, focus on trying to stay calm, trying not to let it completely take over my mind. So essentially I was like, you know what, just wait until you hear back from at the dealership on what the verdict is. Once like, hey, we're not covering this, you have to pay for the whole thing, that I could have the car towed back to my house. I could figure out, public transportation, get stuff worked out at work, figure out, a better exercise schedule for Apollo, since we would have to be on foot. So I was like, I'll pick back up with with vlogging and life stuff, extracurriculars after that. So I heard back from Hyundai yesterday. The one thing that was kind of annoying too is they were taking their sweet time communicating with the warranty company in communicating with me. Like, I really had to push to get updates and for them to send stuff. So they sent off the request to the warranty. The warranty people were like, we need this, we need this, we need this. You know, we need this information from the DMV. We need records of his oil change and maintenance. So I had to take a lift over to where I got my oil changes done, get them to print that stuff, get a lift over to the DMV, get that stuff. Just like all this extra time and money to just get them the stuff, even though from the research I did, the hybrid system failing is becoming more and more common in my year of vehicle, 2017. So it's not like this was a shock to them. Even the service guy was like, oh yeah, it's been taking about XYZ to get those batteries in because they're in high demand right now. And it's like, if you know that this is something that's going on, like, why put me through the ringer, jump through all these hoops, you know, just to still say there's a chance that they won't cover it. And so it's just undue stress that they put on their customers, thinking that they're going to be out all this money and have to run around town trying to scavenge all this documentation for them, even though they know, you know. But anyway, bottom line is they called me yesterday and it was approved. There's going to be no out-of-pocket expense on my end, which after the service advisor told me that, I was just kind of silent on the phone for a little bit, and I got a little emotional because like this has been weighing so heavy on me of potentially losing this car for X amount of time. Or I was like, oh my gosh, you know, for that amount of money I could probably get a little beater used car without all these issues. Maybe I should just, you know, turn it back over to the bank, even though it's so close to being paid off, and just be like, you know what, this thing is basically a paperweight at this point, which would have really been a bummer, you know. So they're taking care of the whole thing, and so he told me that, and I was like, okay, well, am I going to be getting a loaner vehicle? That way I have something to get around town and get to work and, you know, all that stuff. And he was like, yeah, I think we should be able to do that. Just send me your driver's license and insurance information. And I was like, okay, I'll text it to you. So I sent him the text message. And keep in mind, it took them, because I asked when it had been approved, and it was approved on Monday. And I tried calling twice on Monday, twice on Tuesday. My advisor had called in sick, but somebody else said that they were going to help me out. Never got back to me, so they're leaving me hanging, just in suspense for 2 days, and they finally get a hold of me on Wednesday. And I'm like, yeah, it's approved. And I was like, okay, well, I need a vehicle. You know, it's something you've done for me in the past when this car had a recall. This car previously had the entire engine rebuilt because there was a failure of one of the rods. And so under a recall, they rebuilt the entire bottom of the engine. It's like a half rebuild. So they gave me a loaner at that point for, I want to say probably like 2 months, 2.5 months. And so I was like, it's something you've done before. I know you can do it. He's like, yeah, give me your license and registration, and we should be able to get you set up with something. And I was like, okay, well, I have a friend that was planning on taking me over near the dealership to run some errands. So I sent him a text. I was like, hey, my buddy's planning on taking me over to Target, which is right by the dealership, to run some errands. And then I'm gonna get lunch. I'll just walk over to the dealership right around 2 o'clock to pick up the loaner vehicle. Now keep in mind, I was being a little pushy, a little presumptuous, like essentially you're gonna need to have this car for me by the time I get there. But I was just tired of the runaround, you know? And it's like, okay, if you're gonna cover it, then you need to be on top of things, you know? And so I went and got lunch, took my time because I know that I was coming. He didn't respond to my text message, so I was like, I don't know if he's seen it, but so I just kind of showed up kind of unannounced. But I was like, enough's enough. Enough's enough. You've been, you know, stringing me along for 2 weeks now, getting this approved. I'm done. So I walked over there, got there around like 2:30, 2:45. He wasn't at his desk, and they're like, oh yeah, he's not here. I was like, that's okay, I'll wait. It's like, I don't mean to be a Karen, but I'm done. I'm done getting the, come on. I'm done getting the runaround. So, Paulo, enough. So he finally comes after probably about 20 minutes of me standing there. He's like, oh, hey, what's up? It's like, yeah, we talked earlier on the phone. You said you were going to work on getting me a loaner vehicle. So, yeah, I'm here. Where is it? He's like, oh, I don't think we have one for you right now. And I was like, well, here's the thing. It's like, I rely on my vehicle to get to work, and I've been having to make all these crazy arrangements and spend extra money just to get to work. Like, I rely on this vehicle for my income. And last time this happened, I had to get a national customer care rep involved to expedite this process because it just seemed to take a lot longer than I would assume it should have. And I was like, is that something that you recommend I do this time? And he's like, well, let me see what I can do. And so they were like, the only thing that we have available that we could use for a loaner is one of our Hyundai Konas, but it's all electric. And I was like, I can figure that out. I have electric chargers at the office, so I can charge it at least twice a week there. And then I'm just charging it right here at the mall. And I was like, I can do that in the mornings on the weekend if I need it, while I take Apollo for a walk up here. It's been about 15 minutes, and the trailhead is just right up here. So I'm like, yeah, let me figure that out. Just get me the flipping car, man. Oh, I think I was supposed to turn over there. Let's go. I think we can probably just go this way. We might not go all the way up into the hills there. That's where we've been up there before. We're over by Harry's apartments. Maybe we'll just walk around kind of in the lower area just for the sake of time. Come on. So yeah, I was like, that's not a problem. What you should do is, if you have somebody that needs a loaner vehicle, is immediately check all that stuff. But they're like, okay, the next step in the process is getting you a loaner vehicle. We'll get to it in a few days. And it's like, that's not gonna work for me. So I felt a little bit of like a jerk, just like walking in and being like, all right, figure it out right now. I'm standing in front of you, click on things, you know. But with some of these service centers, that's kind of, let's go this way. That's kind of what it takes. You have to like get them to care, you know, care about your situation. So lo and behold, they sent me off in a brand new vehicle. It has like, I think like 300 miles on it or something like that. But I've just got to figure out the charging situation, and I don't know how much that stuff costs. I guess I can check. So I plugged it in, and it was like, we'll text you. Let's see. We'll text you with the, which they didn't. That's a bummer. Okay. They said they were going to text me a link. That way I could check like updates on charging and stuff, but I didn't get one. But it said it would take about 30 something minutes to charge to 80%, which I think is like what you're supposed to charge. You're not supposed to charge it all the way. So that means that we can probably only walk around up here for like 10 minutes and then we've got to flip around. But me and Apollo have other stuff planned for the day. He's gonna go get his nails clipped. We're gonna do a dog wash, a little spa day, and then take him to the park. It's kind of a thanks for putting up with me not taking you to get proper exercise for 3 weeks day. So he's gonna get some TREATS's, some TREATS's from Cosmo's Bakery. We're gonna go over there and snag him some stuff, and then go get his nails did, get him all prim and proper, and then go to the park. Right, buddy? Right, buddy? Yeah, yeah, come here. Come here. Hi, hi. He is like, I'm paying zero attention to you. I can tell he's like, just like, he hasn't been out like on a hike like this in weeks, and so he wants nothing to do with me. He's just like, I'm gonna pay attention to all the smells, all the sights and sounds. I've had enough of you. You've been doing nothing but cuddling me and crying for like 3 weeks. I'm sick of you, which is understandable. What do you see? What do you see, big boy? Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Okay. Come on. Let's go back here. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on with me, is just trying to piece my kind of functioning life back together. And now that I have a vehicle again, and I know that I am not going to have to pay out of pocket for that repair, was just like the hugest of reliefs. And so I'm feeling a little bit emotionally more stable, and I guess financially more stable, because I was really like, I went into immediate panic mode when I found out that there was a probability that I was going to be paying for this repair. I immediately went on social media. I went on Instagram, was like, I'm doing another huge D-stash, and I listed all of my kits except for my Jaded Gem Shops, everything I own, all of my pens except for one, all of my trays except for a couple. Let's, I think we need to turn around, bud. I think this is it. I think this is it. Because I don't want us to get a fine. Come on, come on. I don't want us to get in trouble for leaving the car parked when it's done charging. I feel bad because we literally just got on the outdoorsy part of this, but I'll be doing, we'll get to it, but I'll be doing some more vlogs and stuff, probably, maybe some hikes and musics, that type of thing. I want to take him to a hike somewhere where I can let him off leash, because he hasn't had that opportunity, like I said, in weeks. So we need to find something. But let's go this way. Good boy. Good boy. So yeah, I immediately went on Instagram. I was like, I need to, like, if I'm gonna have to cover the repair expenses, I gotta just like, whatever I have that's of value, to get as close to that as possible, that'll be helpful, you know, and maybe I can take out a personal loan, or I don't know. Every panic thing was running through my head of like, oh God, oh God, oh God. So I was like, sell it all. That's it. And not that I was like, I'm done diamond painting, but just even with my Jaded Gem Shop ones, I have enough to keep me going for at least a few years with those massive kits. So I was like, it'll be fine. It's gonna be a bummer, but it's not the end of the world. It's better to have a car to get to work than 100 diamond paintings, you know? So I put them up for D-Stash, all of my pens, all of my trays, any unused Mary Mud, I put that up, like anything and everything that was not used went up for grabs. And so I just did it on Instagram, and then I was like, once I feel a little less emotionally panicked and feel like I can go on a live stream without you know, bringing the mood down, or, you know, I didn't want to be like, okay, well, I'm doing this D-Stash because I need money. Like, I don't want to give off that, like, I don't know. Maybe it's a pride thing, but like, yeah, I'm not interested in doing that. So it's like, once I kind of know a little bit better about what my situation is, then I'll do a live YouTube video to D-Stash everything else. But for now, we'll just kind of do it a little bit more hush-hush on Instagram. So I did get some people reaching out, and in the meantime, I was like, okay, well, maybe I can borrow somebody's truck, or like, you know, like get an alternate vehicle. But that didn't really pan out. Like, all of my buddies kind of either have like, my one buddy runs a construction company, but he's like, our extra truck that we have is, the tags are expired and it's got a missing tail light. And I was like, oh, okay. So my plan to have like some sort of temporary vehicle kind of fell through. So I was like, I don't want to start taking people's money and then not have a car to be able to ship, you know, get all this stuff over to UPS and drive stuff around, and, you know. And then I was like, okay, I don't have any packages of the right size to send trays and putties, so I need to go buy all that stuff. And I was like, okay, well, now I'm adding an expense on top of, you know, these putties that I'm trying to sell. You know, I listed it for $3. So I was like, okay, well, it's probably going to cost just as much to get the packaging as it would have been to sell them in the first place. It'd probably be coming out even. So I kind of regrouped on that, and I was like, in your panic to just try to get some money coming in, you didn't realize like how much it's going to cost to actually get this stuff sent out, especially the small things like the putties and the trays. So the few people that did reach out to me and I marked their name down, I am going to ship their stuff out here in the next couple of days now that I have a car again. I just need to order like the little bubble plastic things off of Amazon. So I think I'm going to be probably coming out even on those. But I deleted the D-Stash post. I told the people that I hadn't marked their name down that were still inquiring, I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. At the time I didn't have a vehicle, but now I'm just like a little less panicked about the situation. And I don't want to have a fire sale on all my stuff and then it doesn't even really make a dent in, you know, in trying to put some money together for that repair. And now that I'm not going to be paying for the repair, I'm feeling a little bit better. So yeah, I'm sure there's people that are going to be annoyed, like, you said you were having a D-Stash and then you're not having it anymore. But yeah, sorry. Sorry, I felt like I was in a really tough spot and it was kind of reactionary. So yeah, hopefully I won't, you know, in the future, you know, I need to get myself to a place where that isn't where I go. You know what I mean? Like, I need to have some savings. That way I'm not like, oh, I've got to sell all my stuff. So yeah, dodged a bullet there. Thank God that the warranty is covering it, and I'll have my car back in a few weeks. But what if something like this happens again? What if some other emergency happens? You know, like I think about like Apollo, and if something happens to him, he's insured, he has pet insurance, but it's not, they don't cover it and then send you the bill. You pay for it out of pocket, and then they reimburse you once you submit your claim and you've hit your deductible. So what happens if I need to pay out of pocket for something like that, you know? So that's kind of where my head's at right now, is just like hunker down and start thinking about like your future, you know, stop living just like day to day and like, oh, you want to buy something, just buy it, you have the money. And it's like, yeah, but I'm also, you know, getting a little older. So, you know, and I have really, really good health insurance, but what if I want to do some stuff that's not within insurance? You know, maybe if I want to like getting like a personal trainer or some sort of physical therapist to just kind of keep me limber for longer, I don't think insurance covers some of that stuff. So just a lot of these things that I'm thinking about where it's like, all right, stop playing around. It's time to like think seriously about what the next 15, 20 years are going to look like, and get your stuff together. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So yeah, I may message the folks that did put their names down for some stuff, and I need to look at how much those boxes, the specialty boxes for the trays and putties, or the little bubble envelopes are going to cost. And if they're going to cost me the same amount or more than it would have been to send them out in the first place, then I'm just going to be like, hey, you know, I was in a panic mode. I thought every dollar would help, but yeah, I'm not sending you your putty. And like I said, no one's paid for anything. Once I realized that I wasn't going to have a reliable means to send stuff, I didn't think it was right or smart to take people's money and then be like, oops, I can't actually ship it to you until I don't know when, because I don't have my car still. I thought that would have been kind of sleazy. So I just told people I'll give you an update on stuff once I have reliable means of transportation. So I might just write those folks and be like, hey, thank you for being willing to support, but yeah, plans have changed. Come on, let's go. Forward march. I'm sorry, he's looking at me like, you put me in a backpack and you have your backpack on and we didn't even do anything. But yeah, maybe, what time is it? Maybe we can go to the open space today, Apollo, after you get cleaned up. Hi, cutie. Come here. Hi, cute boy. Oh, I love you so much. He has been my emotional support dog for the past few weeks, and I think he needs a break. Just been like holding him and he'll lay on the couch, in the corner of the couch, and I'll just put a pillow on his little butt and I'll just lay there and just be all teary-eyed, like I don't know what's gonna happen. And okay, you want to practice doing our sits? Come here. Okay, easy. Apollo, sit. Apollo, eyes, sit. Apollo, try again, sit. Good boy. You got to sit for traffic. Stay. Good boy. You did great. So yeah, that's kind of what's been going on with me. The other thing that's still a personal stressor, it's the unknowing, is my landlord / roommate / friend Spencer, his roommate Scott, who you've met, Bowie, is Scott's dog. Scott moved out, I want to say a week ago. And so Spencer's living downstairs by himself, and his girlfriend wants to move in, but she does not want to live downstairs. She refuses to live in a basement. And we don't have a lease. We just pay month to month, which hasn't been a problem until now. But essentially he was like, yeah, Katie doesn't want to live in a basement, so I'm going to ask you guys to either relocate down into the basement or get out, move out completely, which is kind of crappy, I think, of him to ask, because we did have the option when we first moved in which floor we'd like, and we asked for the upstairs, and that's what was agreed upon. So I just think it's a little, it's just not great that because his girlfriend thinks that the basement is beneath her, no pun intended, that we're getting the boot, or we have to move downstairs. So, whew, that's noisy. That's noisy. That's noisy. He's so cute. So I talked to Jeff, my roommate, about it, and he's a little bit more, because I was like, you know what, if that has to happen, it has to happen, but I don't like it. The reason I didn't select to live down there is because I didn't want to live in the basement, and it's only a 2-bedroom, so I'd lose my office and craft room, and the rent would be the same, and I'm like, we're losing a bedroom, we're losing functionality, but we're going to be paying the same amount. I was like, none of this makes any sense. So I think at the end of the day, I think Spencer and his girlfriend are ready to move into that next step of their lives where they have a home together and they're living together. And so I think by giving us this kind of, let's go, short end of the stick, I think is his subtle way of just asking us to move out. Like they want the place to themselves now, or maybe want to rent the basement to some of her friends, because I know some of her friends are looking. Like, I just get the, no, drop it. Be a good boy. I just get the vibe that it's kind of like, I'm over this stage in my life of having like friends as roommates, like, you need to go. All right, he's starting to act squirrely. I wish he would just say that, but I think that's the vibe that I'm getting is just like, I need you to go. But he's not able or willing to just be that forthright with it. So, our options are to move into the basement, relocate downstairs, which my roommate isn't willing to do either. And him and his girlfriend have kind of been talking about moving in together too. They just don't really have a time frame. And because and I asked Spencer, I was like, I'd really like to sign a lease, because if Jeff decides to leave, suddenly, and and we're month to month, I can't afford double rent on a whim, and certainly for not like a long period of time, maybe like a couple months while I find something else. But he was like, no, I'm not willing to do that. If he was to leave, then you would be expected to pay double rent. And I was like, it doesn't make any sense to me, because Jeff and I did not sign a lease or anything together. We asked you independently if we could rent a room, and there was 3 available, and we were put together upstairs. So it wasn't even a situation of like me and Jeff got together and we're like, let's rent this place. So I was like, I don't know why I'd be responsible for both. Like, if I would assume that you would be responsible for renting out the other room if that was the case. But I'm just like, I also don't want to cause any strife between friends. So a lot of this I've just been keeping to myself. So I was like, okay, you know what? Rather than trying to like, I'm just kind of over trying to like, I'm constantly thinking about like, what about the needs of this person, or like what will make it the easiest for everybody as a whole. But I don't want to be left in the lurch where I'm being asked to pay double rent, or, things happen really quickly and I don't have a place to live. Like, that's never been something I've been scared about, but I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like even though, you know, Spencer is a friend and I love him a lot, I just feel like there isn't, he's really caught up in, I think, what his girlfriend's wants and desires and needs are, which is fine. That's understandable, but there's blinders as to how that might impact everybody else that lives there, or me and Jeff, in a negative way. I think he's just in a position where he doesn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So why would anybody else need, like, okay, well, if you need to put together first and last month's rent and a deposit, like, that money is just in the bank. You can just get a new apartment if you want, you know? And I'm like, that's not my life. So that's been another huge stressor of mine right now too. And still trying to be friendly with everybody, even though I'm very, very stressed about it and a little hurt and upset, but I don't want it to turn into a thing. So I've just been kind of smiling and nodding. But I think I found a solution. One of our other buddies, Joe, who I've mentioned him several times before, he's going to have a room available at his place. It's him and his two roommates. One of them's moving out in the next few months. And so there's going to be a spot open. And he said I'm the first and only choice as far as renting out that room. So it seems like it's pretty solid, but he hasn't talked to that roommate about timing. So he doesn't know exactly when that will be. But timing's important to me because Spencer's girlfriend's lease is up in like February or March. So I either have to move downstairs by then or move out. And I really don't want to move everything downstairs to then have to move it again to Joe's place, you know, like a month later. So what I'm waiting on is for Joe to solidify a date and confirm with me that this is happening. That way I know that I have a place to live, you know? And I highly doubt that Jeff would, or Spencer would straight up just kick me out, like put all your stuff out on the street kind of thing. But I don't know at this point. I honestly don't know. I'd like to think that he wouldn't do that, but if his girlfriend is pushing him, like, I will not live in the basement, like, I don't know if he'd just be like, all right, you know, I'll just burn this friendship to appease her. You know, I honestly don't know. I can't say if that's his mindset or not, which sucks. And she's really nice too. Like, I think if I knew her outside of like her dating my landlord / friend, I think her and I would get along just fine. But I think she, from what I gather, you know, and I've had several conversations with her, she's very like marriage, family, let's start our lives together, let's lock this down oriented. Once again, fine, but it's kind of at whatever cost, you know, like kick them all out, enough's enough, this is what I want. So it's just kind of a bummer. But I'm hoping to hear back from Joe sooner than later. I'm trying not to be pushy because I don't want him to be like, oh, actually, you know, I just don't want him to get cold feet about the situation. We're very close friends. I don't think he would back down, but I'd like to know. That's not a rabbit, it's a napkin. It's a napkin. Yeah, it's a napkin. He thought it was a rabbit. I just don't want to seem too pushy. Just let it happen. We still have, you know, 4 or 5 months until all this needs to go down. So I would just wish he'd be like 100% confirmed. You'll be moving in on the 1st of whatever. That's what I need to hear. But I just need to be patient. Do you want to try going this way? Can we go this way? Let's try it. Yeah, I just need to be patient and it'll happen when it happens. I don't like living in that uncertainty, you know? But if this does happen, which I'm like 95% it will, it's just a matter of timing. They live right in Golden, maybe a 5-minute walk, 8-minute walk to downtown, like right in the thick of things. And that would be so ideal for me to be back in Golden, back in town, closer in town than I ever have before. The rent's exactly the same. I'd have my own bedroom. I'd still be splitting a bathroom with his other roommate, Doug. And Doug's really cool. But yeah, it'd be so much nicer of a situation. We'd be their house. You walk out the front door, you walk to the end of the block, and that's where one of the trailheads for Table Mountain starts. It's like, boom, right there on a trail. Within spitting distance, you're at a trailhead. They're right across the street from the Natural Grocers, so the grocery store is literally right. You look at it right out their window, and it's right there. So you can walk across the street to go get, you know, food and groceries and supplies and stuff. And it would be so ideal. It's got a big old kitchen. They've got 3 bathrooms. There's like a half bath, a little backyard, a nice garage. So like room for all of my stuff, and the bedroom is big too. So even if there's no room for my little love seat, it would fit in my bedroom. I don't know, there's room for like a little skincare vanity. So I just send good juju my way that all of that stuff works out and I can get back into feeling stable in my living situation. Not that I'm necessarily unstable, but I'm just not feeling confident that my interests are being kept in mind whatsoever, even though I'm renting with a friend. Come on, you can do it. Good boy. Good boy. And I would be signing a lease over at Joe's place. They have a more traditional setup. So that would be ideal. And going forward, now I know that even though you're renting from someone that you think is a close friend, get a lease. Get confirmation that you can't just be moved around like a chess piece based off of what your friend's girlfriend decides that she needs or doesn't need. So yeah, that's kind of updates on life stuff. What else? I talked to, and we'll go more into diamond painting specific stuff. I don't really have very many updates, but I guess we'll do it on an outdoor vlog. I'm planning on filming that tomorrow. I took this entire week off, the week of filming this. I'm gonna try to get this posted today. So today's Thursday, the 11th, 12th, something. I took this whole week off. I had a secret plan. Come on, let's go. To do a road trip down to Sedona, Arizona this week. And I was gonna bring Sedona Majesty, the diamond painting, with me and work on that at the Airbnb. And then I found the hike where you can see the exact same vista that Sedona Majesty, that image is. That's a real thing. And you can go on a hike and see it from that exact angle. So I looked it up and I was like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drive down there. Me and Apollo will just have a nice few days together, hang out, relax. I'll hold up the diamond painting, like the canvas, and then cut to the real thing, you know, us actually being there. I thought that'd be really cool. It just looks so beautiful. Come on. Come on. But then my car broke down. So we canceled that trip. And I was gonna just work this week. But then when I found out that, I wasn't getting any news on the warranty, and after having 2 weeks of having to commute to work with alternate means, I was like, you know what? I need to emotionally regroup and just compose myself and just kind of reset. So I'm gonna take this time off anyway and just try to relax and spend this time hounding Hyundai. And luckily I did take it off because I had to do all that driving around, like go here and get this, go here and get this. Like a little warranty scavenger hunt that they make you go on. So luckily I did have the time off because I was able to do all that stuff. And I was like, if they don't get it approved by the end of this week, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I feel very, very thankful that it got approved yesterday. And so I can actually enjoy the rest, you know, today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. I can actually have a vacation and drive up and do some hikes. Oh, are you gonna poop right now? Oh my God. Okay, hold on everyone. Okay, sorry about that. I just need to find a trash can now. What the heck, Apollo? I guess you did do it as close to the mall as possible. So yeah, I'm just gonna use the rest of the weekend hopefully to just kind of unwind, take Apollo up for some hikes, get out of the house because I've been trapped in the house for so long. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. And we'll talk more diamond painting stuff on that hike and just some other just general updates and stuff. Let's see. Okay, so the car is still there. Didn't get a fine, it looks like. I'm gonna try to find a little trash can. But the car, I'll mention, so the car is I did mention it. It's a Kona, a Hyundai Kona. It's nice, it's cute. They gave me the upgraded, like the limited. So it's got the same like light gray leather that my car has. And it's got a little sunroof, and it's got where it'll stay the right distance from the car behind you, and it steers itself and does all that stuff. So that's cool. And it's got some zip to it, those electric cars. I thought my car had a little zip to it, but this thing really gets up and goes. You just burn through the battery fast. Geez, you think you'd be able to find a trash can around here? Maybe I should go see a movie. It's been ages. Oh, there's one. I know, buddy, this isn't a real hike. I'm sorry. This is just a walk. Oh, 5280 has a burger bar over here. Huh. I rarely come back over here in this area. Come on. So yeah, we're gonna get in the car, head up to the dog grooming place, get nails done, get him washed, and then I'll probably grab coffee or lunch or something, and then take him to the open space, and then finish our day by going to get him some raw bones or something, just as he's a dog, he doesn't know, but I do want to appreciate him for being a very loving and cuddly and understanding dog when we weren't able to do stuff like this or go on hikes for several weeks. So he deserves it. He's a very, very good support dog. So yeah, it's that second black car over. So, all right, well, I'm gonna let you go, and we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this content with friends, family members, anyone that you think might take some value out of it, and happy placing. We'll see you next time. Bye.